Alright, so in this video, we are going to look at pain and gain on the Weltrade broker right over here. So you will see we are going to have a few steps that we are going to do. We are going to wait for a liquidity sweep. We are going to wait for an inverse fair value gap to form. And we are going to wait for a break of structure to happen before we enter a trade. So let's jump straight to the charts and let's have a look. All right, so what we need, let's say, for example, this is price. We want to wait for some sort of liquidity sweep to happen right over here. We want to wait for a push down. Inside of this push, we want some sort of inverse fair value gap to form. We want a break of structure and we are going to enter our trade right over here and we are going to target a fixed 1 or 2 risk reward trade. Really simple, really straightforward. So let me show you some examples on the chart and see how we can identify them. All right, so I'm on the pair pain right over here. So let's quickly have a look. So we can immediately see when we have a look right over here, we have a liquidity sweep. So that's step number one we can follow. So it's the liquidity sweep. Let's just put it neatly. There we go. We have a inverse fair value gap that has formed right over here. Just find the rectangle tool. Here we go. Liquidity sweep, we have a small inverse fair value gap right over there. So we broke below it, and also we have a break of structure right over here. So this was 3 steps that happened, and this is on the 30-minute, where you can literally take a trade right over there. You can put your stops above these highs, and we can target a fixed 1 or 2 risk to reward trade. As we can see, currently the market is still in this trade. So I will have a look and I'll update you guys on how this trade went, if it played out or not. So let's look at a few more examples. So here you can go, you can see again. So on the pain pairs, we only sell, and on the gain pairs, we only buy. So here's another good example. You can see we have some sort of liquidity sweep. We tapped into this fair value gap area right over here. As you can see there, when we tapped in, we created an inverse fair value gap where price broke and closed below. Here we created a new low right over here, this one there. So for some sort of break of structure, so if you want a market structure shift, you can enter your trade right over here. Or, so this one closed right over there. So this is the first entry where you can take your trade and you can put your stops above this high. And you can target a fixed 1 or 2 risk to reward trade. As you can see, that one played out perfectly. If you did not catch that entry, you can wait for your break of structure that happened right over here, and you can enter your trade immediately after this happened right over there, and you can put your stops above these highs. Why? Because it's the fractal high. I will show you now in a minute. And then there's your 1 or 2 for this one as well. Same with this one here. There was a high created. Okay, hold on. So let me quickly show you what I mean by a high and a low. Let's just draw it with. So basically, when we have 2 candles, right? It's a 2 candle pattern. So we have a high, we have like a green candle. Let's say this one is green. And we have a red candle, for example, green, red. We want to see the highest point of these two. That's going to form a high. For example, this one right over here, that's a high. red and green, 2 candle pattern, and it works vice versa with a low. When we have a red candle and a green candle, the lowest point of the two is going to be the low. For example, this one here, a red and a green, the lowest one of the two is a low. So that's how we identify the highs and the lows. So now, hopefully this makes a little bit more sense. As I mentioned, this was the low. Why? Because we have a red and a green. The lowest is this one right over here. And for this entry, it was a green and a red. So there's the high. And then we created a new low right over here. Why? Because a red and a green, the lowest point, and this is where you got in your entry as soon as it closed right over there. So let's look at this example. So you can see we are in a trending market. We created this high right over here, green and red. We took it out, right? We had a inverse fair value gap right over here. We closed below it, okay? Now we are waiting for some sort of confirmation. A red and a green, the lowest of the two candles. We closed below it, right over here. You can take your trade, stops above the last high, and you can target a 1 or 2 risk to reward trade. And you can always scale down. This is only on the 30-minute. Let's go down, for example, to the 5-minute. The reason why I'm trading these pairs on the higher time frame is because then I don't see the spikes and the ticks. Then the market looks normal. So that's why I trade these pairs mostly on the higher time frames, because then the market looks normal. Remember, for pain, we only take sells, and for gain, we only take buys. Here's another example. When we look at this piece of price action here, we had a small liquidity sweep basically right over here. We pushed down. So step number 1, we inversed a bunch of fair value gaps. Actually, there's one, and there's one. We took out this low right over here. So if you took your trade right over here and your stops above this high and you target a fixed 1 or 2, as you can see, again, beautiful trade right over there. So easy strategy to follow. Leave a like and subscribe if you liked this video. And also, if you found it valuable, let me know down in the comments if you backtested the strategy or not. See you in the next one. Remember, Weltrade guys, so go open an account today. See you in the next video.